It was the single largest terrorist attack on the U.S. in the history of our country. It was a violent insurrection aimed to overthrow democracy. It was an all-out assault on the police officers charged with protecting the Capitol building and the people inside it. It was denounced by Republicans and Democrats alike, but somehow the guilty people in this attack believe they deserve a pardon. I'm going to show video of one such convicted felon. No, not Trump, an actual J6er. How is it even remotely possible that this idiot thinks he deserves a pardon? You have to start by acknowledging how successfully corporate legacy media can sane wash anything. Donald Trump not only survived impeachment and indictment, he was able to campaign successfully by promising to pardon J6ers, and the media faithfully reported it. Here is probably the only time Trump was confronted.
You've called yourself the candidate of law and order. Yeah. When Time magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely. Sure. You called them patriots. 140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones, at least one officer lost an eye, one had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs, another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol.
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the
question
people
is
that
on
tried
those
to
rioters who assaulted officers?
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just they were convicted by a very tough system. How come?
And still, he kept to his guns and made the promise. It was always the most ridiculous campaign promise Trump ever made. And of course, like every other campaign promise, Trump is now backing away from it.
January 6 pardons, President Trump says there's a process. Where is the line drawn on who will and wouldn't be considered for a pardon?
I think it's very simple. Look, if you protested peacefully on January the 6th and you've had Merrick Garland's Department of Justice treat you like a gang member, you should be pardoned. If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned. And there's a little bit of a gray area there, but we're very much committed to seeing the equal administration of law. And there are a lot of people, we think, in the wake of January the 6th who were prosecuted unfairly. We need to rectify that.
Well, news that Trump might draw a distinction between violent and nonviolent offenders has reached the ears of the convicted felons, and to say the least, they are not happy.
I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
And then you get people like JD Vance. He wasn't there. He doesn't know what happened. President Trump telling people to be nonviolent. I'm going to say this once, okay? You expect us to believe that they stole the election, okay? Which is against the law. And then you want us to peacefully and patriotically go there. Okay, so we did. And then we get attacked by these stupid motherfuckers. And now you're not willing to stand with us? After we went through 4 years of hell?
So, okay, first of all, yes, it proves that most J6ers are indeed low IQ people. Because follow the path of this discourse. He starts by reminding Trump, hey, we just did what you said, and then asks for sympathy by talking about how they were attacked. Yeah, gee, imagine the police fighting back. The nerve of them. And then the ultimate plea for sympathy, that jail for 4 years is not a nice experience. Dude, my heart bleeds for you. It really, really does. And so, can I just say, from the bottom of my heart, with all sincerity, sucks to be you. Mentioning Vance is another great bit, because you can see he's starting to realize they've all been had. Because what Vance is acknowledging here is that there's really no upside for Trump giving out these pardons. It's not like he's going to be paid off by a billionaire for it. In fact, he won't be getting any money for this, and that is always Trump's first priority. It's not like freed J6ers are going to stay in his hotels. And actually, it's not like he wants them in his hotels. And of all the campaign promises he can break, this is the least consequential. People who voted for Trump didn't vote for him with this as their most pressing issue. It was all about the price of eggs, remember? And tariffs on Canada are going to bring down the price of eggs. So, where does J6 pardons figure into that? And the most obvious point of all, Trump doesn't need these people's votes anymore. So scores of jailbirds are going to be pissed and feel betrayed by Trump. The only thing to say to them is, hey, get in line. And you think you can multiply the voice of these toilet wine drinkers by adding their families? Many family members don't want pardons. Know who else doesn't want a pardon? A J6er who spent 60 days in jail. The Daily Beast is reporting that Pamela Hemphill, a grandmother in her 70s who pleaded guilty to charges related to the riot, posted on social media that, "I will refuse a pardon from felon Trump." And the reason Hemphill would refuse a pardon is because, as she told the Daily Beast, "I pleaded guilty because I was guilty, period. I mean, I was trespassing. I had a choice. I could have left." So, yes, what you just heard there is that whole personal accountability thing that Republicans are always talking about, but never live up to. And why would they? Legacy media doesn't hold them accountable for anything. The orange felon tried to overthrow the government with a violent mob and wasn't held accountable. So why would anyone own up to their actions? It doesn't pay. But, liberals are to blame. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.